Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem HaKadosh. The ones, the elder apostles, the great millstone that rule well. And Shalom to all the brothers in the work certain truth, pushing his word to the four corners. Shalom. Saw this article and I just wanted to cover it because it's interesting. You got the markets kind of quaking and shivering because they're saying the AI bubble might pop. But it's been an interesting thing how the progress of how AI has been perceived and just kind of dealt with as well. Perceived and dealt with over like the last year, because it was basically pushed as like a god on earth, essentially was the way they're kind of pushing it. It's gonna answer and solve every problem and thought and feeling and desire people have on the face of the planet Earth. But as time's gone on, it's become evident. It's got gaping flaws, and as well, it's just implementation wise, it's kind of wash. It's like really the only thing that's at that level is really like ChatGPT, and the video production Sora AI as well, which is the same company. The other ones are kind of working. It's like Gemini, the Google's one's working, but then it's they're all kind of hitting the same kind of limits on what they can do. But then that's really within where they're trying to make it like, a super AI, like what was it, Vicky from iRobot. But yeah, I'll read. So some study finds says ChatGPT's hallucination problem. Study finds more than half of AI's references are fabricated or contain errors. Says as mental health researchers relying on ChatGPT to speed up their work should take note of an unsettling finding from Australian researchers. The AI chatbot gets citations wrong or invents them outright more than half the time. And it's funny because what is it? It's the hallucinations were noted from the start, because it was the big way where it kind of came up was with the hell's it called, with the Google search, where they had AI summaries when they were initially put in. They were garbage and useless. They would either have the wrong information, it would outright lie, or it would like go to references from sites that had like no better references, or go to terrible ones. So it was useless. But then they kind of ironed out the kinks over time to improve it. But that's something that happens anyway, because you'll have like videos of people going through where they ask ChatGPT certain things, and then it would just say something, but you say, hey, that's not true, and it'll say, oh yeah, that's not true, actually this is what's true. So you can kind of bully into saying certain things in one vein. But then also is they found a lot of time it will just cite stuff that doesn't exist, because it likes to give you an answer. It likes to just have an answer even if it doesn't know something, which is kind of crazy. But that's because there'll be it's they say, well, I'll read on. So it says, because it kind of goes into an aspect. So it says, when scientists at Deakin University tasked GPT-4o with writing 6 literature reviews on mental health topics, they've discovered that nearly 20% of the 176 citations the AI generated were completely fabricated. Among the 141 real citations, 45.4 contain errors such as wrong publication dates, incorrect page numbers, or invalid digital object identifiers. Overall, only 77 of the 176 citations were both real and accurate. That means 56.2 were either fabricated or contain errors. For researchers under pressure to publish and increasingly turning to AI tools for assistance, the study published in JMIR Mental Health reveals a troubling pattern in when and why these errors occur. And yeah, the other thing with these as well is that a lot of these, like, I think it was like GPT-3 where it kind of blew up and was getting big use. And then it's like with the progressive models, they obviously get refined and improve. Which is funny as hell. They get refined and improve. But then the way people have been using it as well, like there could be a lot of things that kind of written or just kind of put out there where they're just gonna have huge errors that until someone kind of goes in and checks out, like, okay, what's this actually saying, what's this actually about, they're not gonna know, that's kind of there. And it's I feel like a lot of this is where they're trying to what's the word, undermine just the general kind of knowledge you can get online. Especially, well, obviously, ultimately aiming at the truth, where they're going to be, okay, these guys are saying X, Y, Z. It's BS. It's fake information. It's fake news, or whatever. Or they can throw in, their own justification of how, uh, you know, uh, Hebrew Israelites, let's say, are defined, man. Because they might say, oh, they're an X kind of group, they're a Y kind of group, they're about doing certain domestic tea. Tea is the key word they're gonna try and plaster brothers with. And that kind of the information kind of all swirling together online with the AI manipulation, that can very easily come to pass. Because I think the general thing that's happened a lot is people lean on, especially with the younger generation, because the people that are like Zoomers, Gen Z, as they're called, the younger generation, Gen Alpha as well after, the way they're kind of using AI as well and leaning on these things, these technologies, they don't have the fact checking because it says what, um, you know, the researchers should double check. But then how much more so for your average Joe? They're just gonna kind of search. If they see a search summary, they'll kind of take it. You say like, oh, what does this mean, or whatever, or oh, tell me about this, and then they just kind of run with it. Because I've seen people use ChatGPT like that, and obviously it's useful, very useful tool. But then it's like you need that double check and that refinement on it. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people they don't fuck with that, which can very easily just lean to push towards where it's like, okay, they're gonna they're then just, they're gonna there's leeway in there for them to take advantage of certain things. Because I read this, 1 Timothy 6:20, and it says, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called, which some professing have erred concerning the faith. Grace be with thee, Amen. Yeah, science is falsely so called. A lot of these things are, there's a great amount of wisdom and skill being applied with with these things. But then what is the fullness of it really is like uh the fullness of it is the biggest limitation upon it is Esau, the spirit of Esau Edom. Funny as hell. Funny as hell. Because I read this, Isaiah 29:15 says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as a pot's clay, For shall the work saith him that made it, he made me not. Or shall the thing framed saith him that framed it, he had no understanding. Yeah, and that's really the other angle to it. This is these different forms of wisdom, these different worldly ideas of these wisdoms are part of Esau's means by which he's basically establishing his own understanding of the world, at least for people, where he's trying to supplant, the truth of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So, and that's really what's come, risen to the surface and become clear. Funny as hell. And then with that AI, it's essentially links in with that idea, that futurism, that funny enough, it appears in the opposite of that futurism, which is the dystopian futures, where they have these super advanced AI, super advanced technology that then just destroys, humanity's ability to function as people, which is funny as hell. But even then, people still kind of want these things because they think like, oh yeah, it's gonna amount to X, Y, and Z. Because really, this Sirach 3 and 24 says, "For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment." And yeah, deceived by their own vain opinion. Because even with the AI, a lot of it is a reflection of Esau's spirit, which, he's basically established his own view on things, his own world. And it's, he's trying to push that forward with what do you call it? With his technologies, his tools. Well, the reality of that is gonna be made evident through the course of time, man. Because now he's basically putting it all together. He's pushing all his technology, as far he's essentially trying to establish himself as the Most High, and people are down with it. Because as far as with that mark, people are down to get. People aren't really resistant. They're not thinking like, oh, X, Y, Z, blah blah blah. I don't wanna, They're thinking, oh, I'm gonna be living like in the future. I'm gonna be planting super technologies, gonna get the cybernetic arms, gonna get all these different means by which to become a superhuman on Earth, and not realizing it's a scheme, man. It's a ploy. It's a trap. But yeah, I'll leave it there, man. Shalom. Shalom. Yabashim Shabashim Kakatash. Shalom.